It's not displayed. Excuse me. لا not displayed yet. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee for inviting me to give this talk about autoimmunity and immune dysregulation for hematologists and immunologists. So please don't ask any questions. This is the first. The second, I'm sorry, I have pharyngitis, so my immune system now already activated. It's not from the stress, from the pharyngitis. Then after that, after 3 to 7 days, the immune system should go down. This is the second thing. So the third question, why rheumatologists should understand the immunology? Because it's important not only for diagnosis, it's important for diagnosis, it's important for screening, it's important also for treatment. So the first question, why we have, for example, high ESR in inflammations? Because we know from basic immunology that if you have inflammations, you have a rush of fibrinogen. And fibrinogen became the RBC stick together, so we have high ESR. So why we have also C-reactive protein high? Because during the inflammations, the liver already, as a part of innate immunity, produce a lot of proteins. And one of them is CRP, pentraxin. And this should be high in the innate immunity. So really it's important to understand why we should study immunology, basic immunology, to understand why we have these high markers up and down in a high rheumatic factor high, and rheumatologists say, okay, this is clear, it's leading. After that, no, maybe rheumatoid arthritis, no, maybe mixed connective tissue disorders, no, we didn't know that, the answer. So we should treat the patient regardless. Okay, let's start. So, first of all, the immune system is started initially with what? With innate immunity. So, if the most important innate immunity is what? Skin. If I have burn, this is an immune deficiency because the skin is the most barrier for immunity. Also, saliva. We have a lot of enzymes in saliva inhibiting also the microbes. Then after that, you have the pH in the stomach. So taking Zantac is not good for immune system because you are now changing the pH in the stomach, so the microbiota in your stomach will change totally. Maybe this will lead to autoimmunity and cancer later on. We don't know. Also, taking pills of antibiotics is changing your immune system. So changing the commensal flora. So you have a lot of microbial after that. This will direct your immune system to different pathway, maybe different microbiota, maybe to autoimmunity. So really we have a lot of things in immunology to understand what is the problem. Why my patient has autoimmunity? Why? Is it only genetic? Is it only environmental? The best answer for us is polygenic. If I don't know the answer, I'll say polygenetic. That means everything. That means genes, environmental microbiota, epigenetic, and also maybe others. So really we don't know the answer. But we should understand the basic for each disease. Another question, then I will move to my talk. So what's the blood group? My blood group is A. What's my antigen? A. What's my antibody? Anti-B. This is crazy. Because in immunology, if you have an antigen, the antigen will be taken by dendritic cells and presented them with C class to the T cells. So I should have anti-A. Why I am having anti-B? And this is totally bizarre. So really understanding the immune system will take you back. Then you start to understand the immune system very well. When I did my fellowship, I just did only basic immunology initially 1 year. I said, this is not enough. I didn't understand the basic immunology. Then I decided to take fellowship in basic immunology for 2 years just to understand the autoimmunity and also the infections. Let's move. So, why we have autoimmunity? We have multiple genetic disorders. So, really, the immune system should be in balance. If the immune system is low, you have immune deficiency. If the immune system is high, you will have immune dysregulations. Sometimes you will have it both, immune deficiency and immune dysregulations. So we have only 350 genes that can lead to immune deficiency and or immune dysregulation. Only 350, other than the HLA polymorphism. So really, you should understand the genetic backgrounds for immune dysregulations and autoimmunity to really understand why we are choosing these medications. So I decided today to give this talk, first of all, why we have autoimmunity in general. The second afternoon, what's the problem with my immune system to have autoimmunity? Then I will talk about biological agent all. Because when I tested some of the fellows from rheumatology, they don't understand what's the difference between like JAK inhibitor 1 or JAK inhibitor 3, like ruxolitinib or tufa. What's the difference between them? Why I'm using tufa, not using ruxolitinib? Why I'm using, like, for example, anti-TNF Humira about infliximab? What's the difference between these? So we'll talk this in the afternoon. So, really some of the defects lead to immune dysregulation. The immune dysregulation meaning what? So the immune system is not regulated. That means you will have either inflammation continuous, so this is autoinflammation. Or you will have autoimmunity, that means you have two things. Either lymphocytic infiltrations, T lymphocyte, or you have a lot of antibody production, either type 2 or type 3, either antibody alone or immune complex. So autoimmunity, that means antibody mediated or T lymphocyte mediated. Autoinflammatory means a lot of inflammations, and this inflammation is not really related to antibody production or T lymphocyte alone. So then, the most important from this talk, before diagnosing a patient with just only rheumatological disorder, please hold on. So, I'm missing any others. Let's see this case. So this is a case, 17 years old. She has diabetes type 1. She is on insulin, and she is referred to a rheumatology clinic. She has chronic bilateral arthritis. Then she has a history of recurrent parotitis. Then she has high INA, high anti-double strand, high anti-SSA, SSP, and rheumatoid. Diagnosis? Next. So other than mixed, any other definition? So Sjogren maybe, because in pediatric, maybe Sjogren is coming with parotitis, maybe, but in adults you will have dryness, so maybe mixed cognitive tissue disorders. So really we don't know what the diagnosis for time being. So let's do a whole example. Endocrinologists, please need to know these things because nowadays it's genetic diagnosis. All our disease need genetic diagnosis. I know SLD is polymorphism, I know rheumatoid arthritis, but still we have a lot of genetic disorder. So this is the sequence. If you ask a genetic, you will ask him this. Is it really pathogenic? Reported before or not? How is the allele frequency? Is it segregation? What about conservation also? To see if this mutation present also in some vertebrate. يعني مثلا هل موجود في الضفادع؟ في الماوس؟ هل الميوتيشن هذا إذا موجود معناه nothing. This is just only polymorphism. Then, if you didn't have any answer from this, you need to go for protein expression. And for protein expression, what you will do usually? Either quick, protein expression usually will do either Western blot or flow cytometry. So this is the sequence for all the mutations. So today we talked to one of the fellow about one new mutation, new genes, and the patient, two patients has the same mutation. I said we need to go with these all things. So let's now go for this patient. So we did the flow cytometry. This is the flow cytometry, and this is the Western blotting. So Western blotting, we don't have any protein, so he is deficient. And by flow cytometry also he is deficient. So he has an RBA deficiency. So if I diagnose this patient initially like Sjogren, for example, or mixed cognitive disorders, I will continue treating the patient, moving from steroids to other medications, and mashallah immunology and rheumatology, just all biological. Then okay, I don't know what I'm treating. So let's have a meeting. Then we'll discuss about what's the best treatment for those patients. And this is the usual with the rheumatology group. So let's now go to the immune system. So the immune system should be imbalanced. If you have deficiency, you will have recurrent infections. If you have activations in any arm, in antibody production, or lymphocyte, or innate immunity, and your innate immunity is not going to back to homeostasis, then you will have immune dysregulations and autoimmunity. So what's the next question? So any immune dysregulation or autoimmunity. So autoimmunity, you have distractions by autoantibodies, either with immune complex or direct antibodies, and autoreactive T cells. If somebody is coming to me now with autoimmunity and he has, for example, lymph node enlargement, just take a biopsy and see the lymph node. And those lymph nodes, don't ask yourself only, is it only lymphocytes? No, this is not enough. Is it lymphocyte? Which type of lymphocyte? So immunohistochemical is the most important, and ask the pathologist all the time to do the immunohistochemical for you, because if this is only B lymphocyte, you will go ahead to rituximab. If this is a lot of T cell, then you are wasting yourself, wasting your time with rituximab. You need to go for T cell medications, and we'll talk about all of them in the afternoon. Or I'm dealing with autoinflammatory syndrome. So autoinflammatory, really we don't have a lot of immune complexes, we don't have a lot of antibodies, we don't have a lot of T lymphocyte, we have an activation of the innate immunity, the adaptive immunity, and this activation will not stop. So you have a lot of cytokines stored, including IL-1, beta, including TNF, including interferon gamma, or alpha or beta, or IL-6, or other cytokines. So those, they have autoinflammatory. So if you see your patient and you said, okay, my patient has autoimmunity clear and immune dysregulation, so am I dealing with single disease? Like SLE, is it typical for SLE? Is it typical for rheumatoid arthritis? Is it typical for others? About our patient, he has some rheumatologic disease, but what about diabetes? What about the celiac? What about the Crohn's positive? So really it's not only single disease. We have multiple diseases due to immune issues, due to immune dysregulation issues. So those patients, please label them as immune dysregulation rather than just only choosing the most appropriate diagnosis, like single diagnosis. Then, if you have multiple autoimmune disease, called immune dysregulation. So why I have autoimmunity? Why my patients started to have autoimmunity? We know the answer, but we'll try to say something different. So first of all, we know we have immunology issues, definitely. Otherwise, we'll not give you basic immunology course. So either you have failure of tolerance, we'll talk about tolerance in the afternoon, you have abnormal display of antigen, so normal antigen shaped, and then presented, so the immune system will not know this normal antigen. So this is also causing autoimmunity. And inflammations, continuous inflammations, like for example, super antigen. They talked yesterday about super antigen. What's the super antigen? So any antigen-specific cells, dendritic, taking the antigen, then go to proteasome, choosing the most antigenic part. The most antigenic part called what? Epitope. Take this epitope on the MHC class 2 outside. Then the CD4 coming with MHC class 2. Okay, talking together. Okay, this is good. Then activation of that is signaling. So CD28 and B7 and other also CD4 T ligands. So we have a lot of signaling. Then after that, this coming like that, it's self or non-self. If you have continuous inflammation, sometimes you miss the immune system, they miss this antigen is self or non-self, sometimes. And then we have the genetic basis. We know some genetic like MHC class 2 genes, like HLA class 2, like what? DR3 for diabetes, for example. What are HLA type 1? إيش هو اساميهم؟ A, B, C. HLA type 2. DR, DQ, DP, and the most important one for MHC class 2, taking the peptide, مين هو اسمه؟ DM. Yesterday, عليها we talked about. So, let me ask you a difficult question. If I have a patient who has MHC class 2 deficiency, we have those, and this is the commonest immune deficiency in Saudi Arabia. If you have MHC class 2 deficiency, what about those genes? He has MHC class 2 deficiency, so he's supposed not to have those polymorphism or not? Difficult question, I know. Immunologist, rheumatologist, they are not just only waiting for biological agent. We will come to that. So, immunologist. So, you know the MHC class 2 deficiency, only the genes, the MHC, nobody can live without MHC. ولا مالك أم وأب. أنت تأخذ نص MHC من أمك، نص MHC من الأب. MHC class 1 and 2. So the HLA tissue typing, we don't have any human without HLA tissue typing. But with MHC class 2 deficiency, they're only taking the MHC from inside to outside. اللي كنا نتكلم عليها أمس. So the genes is taking the MHC class 2 outside. So we didn't have any problem with HLA tissue typing because the gene is present. So MHC class 1, like disease, any disease? Like MHC class 1 genes, polymorphism leading to rheumatologic disorders, ankylosing spondylitis, or others, might be. So it will be, it's MHC class 1. So this is the MHC class 1 locus. Non-HLA genes. Could you give us example of non-HLA genes increase or polymorphism leading to autoimmunity? Like, yeah, we have a lot, and they talk about the rheumatoid arthritis, we'll come to them. And we have single gene, only single gene causing autoimmunity, not only polymorphism, because we need multiple genes. So, coming now in environmental factors, infections. Why usually the autoimmunity present initial infections? Is it due to the acute phase infections, or this is the immune reaction to the infection? What do you think? Usually the autoimmunity simply starts after somebody having infections. Usually. The question, is it due to the infection itself, or this is the immune reaction to the infections? So the immune reaction to the infections, because usually if you take a biopsy, for example, or take a culture, usually they have negative. Because this is all immune reaction to the infection rather than to the infections itself. And we'll come to that. Here, so you have the genetic, you have either HLA genes on B or A or C or DR, DQ, you have the genes. This is increase your chance to have maybe the autoimmunity. You have an abnormal immune system to start with. This is another chance also to give you an autoimmunity. And you have the infections who just only the key to switch on the process, starting the inflammations. Then you have the immune system defect. You can't hold the immune reactions. Then the cascade will continue, and this is the usual presentation for autoimmunity. So this is the HLA genes we know, like for diabetes DR3, for example, and they have ankylosing D27. So HLA1 or HLA2, as you know. And this is non-HLA genes. If you have it, some of the polymorphism present in the normal population, it's increase your risk to have autoimmunity, increase your risk to have rheumatoid arthritis. For example, this is the first gene described before, polymorphism in rheumatoid arthritis, BTPN22. It's well known, it's increased the inflammasome, increased the inflammatory. So really, those polymorphisms are important for increasing the risk for autoimmunity. What about the other genes, single genes, that may present with autoimmunity? So this is now all these like IL-2 receptor alpha, STAT5B, FOXP3, STAT1, STAT3, LRBA, CTLA4, multiple genes can lead to single genes, they can lead to autoimmunity. So always ask yourself, I'm dealing with only single disease, or this is different, we have multiple autoimmunity, maybe then we'll screen for these single genes. Then we try to collect those patients with autoimmunity. Like those patients with maybe SLE or rheumatoid arthritis, but not only SLE and rheumatoid arthritis, but those also who have also comes positive hemolytic anemia, and they use type 1. Really, this is not the typical patient just only for rheumatoid arthritis or SLE. I know all the time we are just doing what the other doing. So هم قالوا خلاص rheumatoid arthritis or SLE, maybe they have diabetes, خلاص هم قالوا خلاص. No, don't take it. Because nowadays we are discovering a lot of new genes from Middle East leading to immune dysregulations, and they present only with SLE plus others. So after this, after collecting those cases over 2 to 3 years when I was in Boston, we have all these patients from Middle East. So LRBA patients, 6 patients, 6 cases LRBA, and they present only with autoimmunity, and some of them diagnosed with a rheumatological disorder. And we have CTLA4, STAT1 gain of function, and CD25 deficiency, STAT5 deficiency, or the commonest FOXP3 deficiency. So really, all the time, the good clinicians, he's asking himself all the time, I'm dealing only with one disease, or I'm dealing with a single gene causing multiple autoimmunity and immune dysregulations. And the second issue is, some of the genes should be imbalanced. So gene gives to the protein, and the protein should be imbalanced. If you have more protein, you'll have a problem. If you have low protein, you'll have a problem. The example is STAT1, and the other example is also STAT3. So STAT1, if you have low STAT1 gene, like mutation, leading to STAT1 deficiency, leading to recurrent mycobacterial infections and fungi. If you have STAT1 over, is mutation leading to gain of function mutation. That's where more STAT1, more activation. This will lead to autoimmunity, and not only autoimmunity, a lot of production of interferon. And which type of interferon? Type 1. And type 1 leading to what? Usually vasculitis, aneurysm, brain lesions. So if your patient having only aneurysm and skin lesion or CNS lesion, think about high interferon. Then we'll come to the interferonopathy later on with autoinflammatory. So think about any protein. Is it gain of any mutation? Gain of function, loss of function, high protein, low protein, and the most important examples are STAT1 and also STAT3. So do you think the autoimmunity is due to the presence of circulating microbe or due to the post-infectious? We say that's due to the post-infectious, and this is due to what? Due to bystander activation. If you have the infection, the immune system will activate, and those activations is leading to autoimmunity and a lot of activation. And the second is molecular mimicry, like cross-react or like self-antigen. Any example in rheumatology? It's very common in pediatric, but also in adult, leading to heart disease due to this. Acute rheumatic fever. So acute rheumatic fever, we have the strep, and the strep, almost the genes is equal to the gene in the myocardium. So this is typical. If you have produced the antibodies against the strep, you produce against the heart, you'll have the acute myocardial disease. So this is the role of infections. We talk about either the activations or you have the mimicry. So this is the patient, this may be the last slide. This is the patient with SLE, and this is the patient with IPEX, FOXP3, and those LRPA patients. So see the LRPA patient, how much, this is all autoantibodies. How much the autoantibody, that blue, yellow is high, and blue is low. So the LRPA patient, they have tons of autoantibodies. If you do ANA, positive, rheumatic factor, positive, SSA, positive, SSP, positive. So you have tons of autoantibodies in RPA patient. And see the SLE patient is having some autoantibodies, but not like the single gene leading to immune dysregulation. And those leading to arthritis or maybe lymphocytic infiltrate in the lung. So the conclusion now, are we dealing with isolated autoimmune disease or multiple autoimmunity? Screen for thyroid. Always I'm saying, you have SLE, okay, it's SLE. You have rheumatoid arthritis, okay. But mumps positive, screen for thyroid, screen for diabetes. If you have multiple autoimmunity, then think about immune dysregulation more than isolating only one disease. Second, is there any immune defect that might explain the autoimmunity? And we'll come to that in the afternoon. And is there any specific genetic polymorphism or single gene defect that will guide me for diagnosis, especially for those with multiple autoimmunity? And is there any infections that increase the risk for autoimmunity? And finally, the clinical and basic immunology need to go together all the time. So you should know basic immunology.
Thank you, Dr. for the excellent lectures. I'm sure that there's a lot of questions, but unfortunately we don't have time for questions because of the lunch break and prayer time.
In the afternoon.
In the afternoon there's another good talk for Dr. Fikran, so you can ask him. And we'll come back after the break at 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to welcome and invite Dr. Pirhan Arogi again to present two presentations.
Thank you. It's good to talk after lunch, because you will not understand what I am saying. And also I don't understand what I am saying. So, I'm talking now about why we have autoimmunity. We said autoimmunity, we have infections, we have genetic part, and we have an immune defect. So what is the immune defect leading to autoimmunity? So we are hearing all the time tolerance, tolerance, tolerance. What's the tolerance? So we'll talk about the tolerance and the area of tolerance. So the immune system should be strong and fast and beautiful. And if this is like so strong and so fast, then you will have a bad result. So you will have a lot of autoimmunity. So we should restrain the immune system to have an effect, but also not exceeding what we require from the immune system. So outline, so we'll talk about the principles of immune regulation and central and peripheral tolerance and inhibitory receptor of the T cells. So I'm repeating what all the people said before about the Tregs and all the others, but we try to modify what they say before. So the immune system should be imbalanced. We have an activation, and this is important for any organism. You have an infection, the immune system should be active to kill the infections, but then the immune system should go back to the homeostasis. Otherwise, we will have more inflammations, more autoimmunity and immune dysregulation. So we should have regulations for the immune system, and the regulations is causing tolerance. What's the meaning of tolerance? So I'm tolerating my body. As now, you are tolerating my talk. Although I'm saying a lot of things about rheumatologists, they are smiling and not saying anything for time being. This is tolerance. But I know your tolerance will go, the threshold will go down. They say, okay, just shut your mouth. And this is energy. Energy, shut your mouth. Just keep silent. Don't do anything. Don't work. This is energy. So I hope you can tolerate me and to this presentation and not leading to energy or maybe apoptosis. Or maybe somebody coming from outside, taking me outside this lecture room, that's the Tregs. So this is the fate of the immune system. Energy, just switch off, nothing. Apoptosis, death. Then Tregs is suppression from outside. So really, we have the immune system integrated all together, and if you have inappropriate reactions to the self-antigens. So I have the synovium. I have, for example, the muscle. Why the immune system is not reacting to my muscle? Because this is like self-antigen. And who's teaching the immune system to know these self-antigen? This is the main talk for today. And then tissue damage during normal protective response against infections. You know, the inflammation is good to destroy the infections, so we destroy others. We produce IL-1, produce IL-6, so the patient will have fevers, and produce also TNF, will have destruction to some of your organs, then the immune system should, after that count, after that the immune system is working. So activation of the immune system, this will lead to a lot of damage. So we need to have tolerance for these activations. So this is now what we are talking about, the central and peripheral tolerance. Central, that means the central. Where is the central? My thymus for the T cells, and my bone marrow is for the B cells. So those are the central. I don't agree with Gasser when he said that thymus is a college. Because really, if the thymus is a college, this is a disaster. Why a disaster? That means 99% of the students should fail. Only 1% of the T cells is going outside the thymus, which is not reactive. It's good T cells. So really, the thymus is a good filtration for all the T cells. So T cells coming from the bone marrow to the thymus, educated there, most of the T cells will die in thymus. Because those cells not knowing the self-antigen or attacking the self-antigen should die. So really most of the T cells will die in thymus. Bone marrow for B cells, more than 90% of the B cells either will die in the bone marrow or will have some receptor editing. So this is the central tolerance. What about some of the cells will escape the thymus? With those cells, they have slightly self but not like overexpressed. So we should have another checkpoint inhibitor in the periphery. We'll come to that as a Tregs or else. So to have autoimmunity, you should have failure either in central tolerance for T cell in thymus, or central in bone marrow for B cells, or in the periphery for both T and B cells, then you will have autoimmunity. So let's go to the central tolerance. So this is now the thymocyte cells representing the self-antigen to the T cells, and the T cells attached to this self-antigen strongly. That means this is self-reactive. This will be died by apoptosis in the thymus. If the T cells doesn't know the self-antigen, also will die by apoptosis. If it's no, but not too much, either to go to T regulatory cells or active T cells. So the T cells going outside the thymus without death, either T regulatory cells or normal cells. Okay? Then, the question now, who's telling the thymocyte, the T and the T cells, this is self-antigen. So there is somebody in the thymus taking a piece from each organ and presenting this piece to the T cells. Who's doing that? The AIR gene. So AIR gene or AIR protein is important to take a sample from each organ in your body to the T cells to say this is the self-antigen. So if I have AIR mutation, you should have a lot of autoimmunity. So AIR mutation, like which disease? Yes, type 1 polyglandra type 1, which is polyglandra syndrome type 1. But the problem, we don't understand really what the AIR is doing. Because if we say like the AIR is taking a piece from each organ and represent the T cells, let's say if I have AIR mutation, I should have autoimmunity for all organs. True? But in AIR mutation, we have only 3 or 4 diseases only. Hypopara, Addison's, and some celiac. So really, is not explaining how much the autoimmunity in AIR mutation. And we know from AIR knockout mouse, that means that if you have AIR mutation, you don't have a lot of autoimmunity. So we have a lot of genes in the thymus is important for presenting these self-antigen to the T lymphocyte. This is now really apoptosis. So you should have energy or apoptosis. It's not working. الشاحن انت حق الكمبيوتر، ضمن الشاحن طفى الكمبيوتر.
So let's continue. So central tolerance. Central tolerance is in the thymus for the T cells. So the T cells coming from the bone marrow to the thymus, and the air genes like FOXN1 plus other genes representing self-antigen, the T lymphocyte, no reactions and or mild reactions. This is going out either normal T cells or Tregs. If there's no reactions totally, this is apoptosis. If it's two reactions, this is also apoptosis. So really the central tolerance for T cells in the thymus. So what about the B cells? So B cells going from immature B cells to mature B cells in the bone marrow, and this is also if you have doesn't know the self-antigen should die by apoptosis of energy in the bone marrow. Then go to the periphery. So let's talk now about the periphery. What's the mechanism of peripheral tolerance? Could you tell me for T cells, what are the mechanisms for peripheral tolerance? So T regulatory cells. So in the periphery, if any cells escape the thymus.
Hey, just a minute. اشتغل بس.
لسه. 1 2 3 4 5 6
ايه.
So if in the periphery you have the Tregs, and the Tregs is inhibiting any activated T lymphocyte. This is one. Others?
يحتاج
This is also Tregs issues. We'll come to that. CTLA4 also is an inhibitor receptor, but coming also the Tregs also. PD1 is important inhibitory receptor. Energy should be coming all the time, the energy, and also apoptosis. So you have apoptosis also in the periphery. We have apoptosis in the thymus, we have apoptosis in the periphery. If you have defective apoptosis in the periphery, what disease? So autoimmune inflammatory syndrome is due to failure of apoptosis in the periphery. So if you have failure of energy also in the periphery, you have also another autoimmune disease due to failure of energy, like CTLA4 or others diseases. Will come to that for the energy. So really, in the peripheral, we have the Tregs, we have apoptosis, we have the energy issues. So how the Tregs will inhibit the activations? So the Tregs will inhibit the activation first by cell-to-cell contact, contacting the activated cells and producing GANs. The GANs, granzyme, perforin, killing the activated cells. So this is the first Treg story, producing granzyme and perforin. Second, producing cytokines. And those cytokines is inhibiting the cells, like IL-10 or TGF-beta. If you have IL-10 deficiency, what you will have? IBD. You will have Crohn's disease. So really failure of Tregs or failure of the central peripheral tolerance leading to activations and also autoimmunity. So IL-10, TGF-beta is important also for the Tregs to work in the periphery. Also the Tregs working like a sink for IL-2, like absorbing all IL-2 from the media. And IL-2 is doing what? Proliferation of the T lymphocyte. If you would like to grow a cell line for T lymphocytes in the lab, just put IL-2. If you put a lot of IL-2, the T lymphocyte will proliferate. So Tregs will suck all the IL-2 from the media, so you will have decreased IL-2 for the other lymphocytes to grow. So one, granzyme perforin, IL-10, and TGF-beta, and other Tregs also important. They have receptor CTLA4. So CTLA4, the inhibitory receptors. So how many inhibitory receptors do you know? One, CTLA4. Second, PD1. How many activated receptors do you know?
مرة لطيف.
One. How many activated receptors do you know?
No.
One, CD28,
كان ما في بطارية وشبكناه ويشحن.
Second, IQOS وIQOS لا
لا لا خلاص فتحناه. بس هو غير المحاضرة.
inhibit the tolerance. Okay. No, back to the technology. Okay, we talk about all this now. So this is the peripheral T cell tolerance. We talk about. This is the activation, the normal activation. You have the B7 and CD28, and this is the effector T cells will grow. If you have energy, that means switch off the cells either by inhibiting the signal inside or by inhibitory signals from outside, like CTLA4 or PD1 as an inhibitory receptor. This is energy. So energy and switching off the cells. That means the cell will not die, will not produce cytokines, will not proliferate, just hanging on until death. This is called energy. Then you have the deletions by apoptosis. So we have activations of extrinsic or intrinsic apoptosis pathway. Then you have suppression by the Tregs, and the suppression either by producing porphyrin gray enzyme, producing IL-10, TGF-beta, or by the inhibitory receptor due to the CTLA4 in the Tregs. So here the energy, we say it's due to signaling defect and due to the inhibitory receptor. So if I don't have BD1, if I have BD1 mutation, so usually screen a patient who has autoimmunity and came to you to have BD1 mutation. So BD1 mutation is inhibiting the immune system activation. That means the immune system will be activated, so you will have autoimmunity. And also, if any mutation inhibiting the CTLA4, so the immune system will be activated and will not restrain again, so you will have autoimmunity. So failure of energy leading to autoimmunity. And we talk about the receptors. We have multiple receptors, and some of them inhibitory like BD1 and CTLA4, some of them activation like CD28 or ICOS and ICOS ligands. And we talk about the CTLA4. CTLA4 is competing with CD28 for B7. So the questions now. Really the immune system is smart. If the T lymphocyte is going now, and the CTLA4, as the previous session they said, they have very, very high affinity for B7. Why the immune system all the time not suppressed, even during the infection? Because if the affinity of CTLA4 for B7 more than the CD28 activations, why we have activation during infection? This is the most important question. And the simple answer for that, if you have an infection, that means you need CD28. And CD28, the affinity is low, so the expression of B7 will be high. So the B7 will be high in the cell surface. While in autoimmunity, if I don't want in the infections, the B7 expression is low, like in the middle. So weak expression of B7 lead to inhibition, lead to CTLA4, co-inhibitions, or B7 overexpression lead to more activation. SubhanAllah, شيء صراحة إبداع. Only one receptor knows this is an invader. I should be overexpressed and stimulate the immune system, or just only mildly expressed and inhibiting the immune system. So we know that CTLA4 patients, deficient patients, they have what? Autoimmunity and inflammations. They have T lymphocyte in all systems, in the lung, in the colon, so they have colitis, they have arthritis, they have also pneumonitis. If you take a biopsy, you will find a lot of T lymphocyte going because we didn't have any inhibitions for the T lymphocyte to proliferate. And then we talk about the CTLA4, how it's working, and I talk about how the CTLA4 is important. So we talk about the CTLA4 is important for infections, and if no infections, the CTLA4 is important for inhibitions. So really, if I have a cancer, I don't want any inhibition for the immune system.
I need the immune system is going to kill the cancer. So what's the treatment? Anti-CTLA-4. Just to block the CTLA-4. Ask the immune system just to be continuous killing the cancer. But I know this patient will have autoimmunity, but I don't care because he is dying from the cancer. So I can treat the autoimmunity by immunosuppressive agent, but we need the anti-CTLA-4. It's the same for PD-1. If I have cancer, I would like to stimulate this immune system, and there is no break, no inhibition, just to block PD-1. So really, blaming just on CTLA-4 and PD-1, we are playing with that. If you have cancer, just remove the break. Block the CTLA-4, block PD-1, you'll kill the cancer. And this is the Nobel Prize. So Nobel Prize this year talk about how we can kill the cancer just only by the immune system itself without any immunosuppressive medication, just only remove the inhibitions. Remove those inhibitions, but they are not talking only about PD-1 or CTLA-4, they're talking about multiple inhibitors in the immune system, and they are removing those inhibitors to make the immune system more killer for the cancer cell. More autoimmunity. So really, if the patient have a T cells problem, and you would like over and over activation of the T cell problem, you would like the T cells not so much activated. You look what? A beta cell. So what's a beta cell? It's a CTLA-4 fusion protein. So these autoimmunity with a lot of T lymphocyte infiltrations, they have a lot of T lymphocyte proliferation. I'm giving now a beta cell, which is a CTLA-4 fusion protein, just only to have the break for the immune system, have the break for inflammation, have the break for the autoimmunity. So a beta cell should work on rheumatoid arthritis because there is T cells abnormalities, should work on multiple autoimmune disease. Any disease have a T cell problem, a beta cell should work. So this is the T regulatory cells. We saw the mechanism is multiple. One, producing TGF-beta and IL-10, producing the enzyme and porphyrin, and also consuming all the IL-2, and also inhibition of the B7 from the dendritic cells. Apoptosis, if you have, what's the apoptosis and what's autophagy? Male side, as male you are more smarter than female. Male side, what's the difference between apoptosis and autophagy? We'll go to the adult side, that's the pediatric side. So apoptosis, that means programmed cell death without inflammations. So I'm programming the cells to die without any abnormality, without any necrosis, without any inflammation. So that's some pathway for apoptosis. And if you didn't have apoptosis, that's a disaster. You will have a lot of autoimmunity and lymphoproliferations. So if you have somebody with multiple lymphadenopathy, generalized lymphadenopathy, autoimmunity, think about apoptosis pathway because those abnormal cells didn't die like apoptosis defect. So apoptosis, we have extrinsic pathway, intrinsic pathway, but lately all cause death. And then the B cells, we talk about the B cells. So this is now the summary. So if I have now autoimmune disease, I would like to understand the pathophysiology of this autoimmune disease. So the question, first of all, I have problem with central tolerance. So the T cells, is it abnormal? How we can test that? So we can, anyone normally should have a lot of T cells in naive, and you shouldn't have a lot of memory T cells. If you have the opposite, that's when your immune system is not working well. So if you have problem with thymus, thymus is keep educating the T cells, but keeping the T cells naive, because coming from the thymus as naive. If you have in the periphery, the flow cytometry, a lot of memory T cells, said, okay, we have abnormality now in tolerance, because we have a lot of T cells in memory, not naive. So either the problem in the thymus, or maybe the problem in the periphery. So came out from thymus as naive, then the periphery wouldn't have inhibitions, so they activated and tend to be memory. How we can differentiate? Immunology, how we can differentiate between is it central or peripheral? So RARO will say memory or naive. No, we can test those cells just coming out from the thymus by receptor CD31. So CD31 is a receptor for recent thymic immigrant. If I didn't find any recent thymic immigrant as a naive from the thymus, so this is failure of central memory in thymus, like DiGeorge syndrome. If somebody consults from pediatric about DiGeorge syndrome, he has autoimmunity SLE, this is only failure of central tolerance. If you have AR mutation, this is failure of central tolerance. If you have Tregs deficiency, like IPEX or CTLA-4 deficiency, this is failure of peripheral tolerance. And then B cell tolerance, if you have bone marrow suppression, so this is all the B tolerance in the bone marrow, the central. If you have bone marrow suppression, sometimes you will have autoimmunity due to bone marrow suppressions and suppressing the central tolerance in the bone marrow. So loss of self-tolerance lead to autoimmunity. So we need to think, as we have autoimmunity, am I dealing with central, like thymus bone marrow? So T, if I'm dealing with T, so use the medication for T lymphocyte and we're coming to the biological. If I'm dealing with mostly B and we have losing the tolerance for B cells, coming to rituximab and other medications for B. If you have peripheral, think about B or T, then we'll use the medication for those. So let's now go to the biological, just to have it more quicker now. It's good for sleeping time now. Okay. So as I said now, we'll talk about the manipulating the immune system. First of all, we decide this patient has autoimmunity or immune dysregulation. The second, we decide is it really central tolerance in T lymphocyte in thymus, or bone marrow in the B lymphocyte, or in the periphery for both T or B. And mainly for T, Tregs problem, or energy problem, or apoptosis, and B cells, energy problem, or apoptosis. So how we can manipulate the immune system? We can manipulate the immune system by giving vaccinations. So I can change the immune system now. We are increasing the memory for this vaccines, and this is like the importance of vaccination program. And infections is also changing the immune system, because most of us like harboring IgG against CMV from mom. This is also changing your immune system because you have a lot of IgG coming from mom to the baby. Then after that you have infection in the future. So infections also changing manipulating the immune system. And you have antibiotic. Antibiotic is manipulating the immune system. Really, the antibiotic is changing the microbiota. And what's the importance of microbiota? So any autoimmune disease, SLE, rheumatoid arthritis, sugar, whatever, all the people studying now microbiota. Because if you study the host population, you'll find the microbiota abnormality. So if you just see what's the microbiota in normal, like if you take now just only a GI, normal microbiota by RNA-seq, you'll find a lot of Clostridium and Bacillus. For that reason, all the company now excited to put in the formula Bacillus as a normal flora in the formula for baby formula. So if you have abnormality in that, you didn't have Clostridium, you didn't have Bacillus. So the pathogenic flora will come, and this will lead to autoimmunity. Now, it's a big study in New England Journal of Medicine. I think will be published maybe next year, 2020. This just only giving some microbiota is it changing the immune system and curing allergy. Just microbes, not antibiotic. I'm giving just microbes. This is will just treat the atopy. So in the future, maybe we'll treat also SLE by microbiota. We'll treat the rheumatoid arthritis microbiota. So if you concentrate on autoimmune disease, you should now think am I treating now those patients with immunosuppressant? Or I need to treat those patients with modulating microbiota, or I should do both? And this is now, all the people nowadays talking about microbiota in autoimmune disease. And then medications like biological agents. I know rheumatologists, they don't care about antibiotic or vaccines or infections. They would like to talk about biological agents. So let's go for biological agents. So before starting immunosuppressive medications, think about this autoimmunity in specific disease. If you have any specific disease, what's the pathophysiology of this disease? Am I having now T cells mainly problem, or immune complex and B cells mainly problem, or continuous inflammations and autoinflammatory problem? And each one will treat it differently. We'll take examples after that. And then ask also, do we have defect in central or peripheral? And each one has a specific treatment. And think about innate immunity issues like the cytokines, because all the cytokines are important now, like rheumatoid arthritis, for example. You have initially some T cell defects, so you are using methotrexate, you are using steroid, chronically later on, you have a lot of IL-1, IL-6, so tocilizumab or others, because it's changing from acute to chronic, from one area of immune system to another area of immune system. So ask yourself, is this a specific disease mainly the problem in innate immunity, or the problem in adaptive immunity? Should I start the medication for which one of them the most important? And if you think about autoinflammatory, Abdurrahman will present the autoinflammatory, those autoinflammatory just only caused by cytokines. Cytokines produced without inhibitions. So high IL-1, just to block IL-1. High interferon, just to block interferon. High TNF, just to block TNF. And high IL-6, just to block IL-6. Is it safe to just shut down the pathway? This is not safe. Because if you shut the interferon, you are shutting a lot of things. Not only interferon. If you just TNF, so you are blocking IL-1, IL-6 from the TNF inhibition. So really we are doing a lot of things, and we know in the immune system we have plasticity of the immune system. What's the plasticity? So the immune system changed from one area to one area. If you block this pathway, the other pathway will go immediately. If you block T helper 1 pathway, interferon gamma, Th17 will come and you will have inflammation by Th17. You should work with that later on. For that reason, some of the patients after starting biological agent losing effect after a few times. Not due to neutralizing antibody, but due to activation of other pathway which is causing inflammation. This is only stupid. They're just only talking about the T cell medications. So let's now decide if my patient having abnormality in the T cells. How I can know the abnormality in the T cells? Suppose it's very easy. You can do flow cytometry, see the T cells. Is the T cells is mostly memory or naive? So if mostly memory, this patient has T cell problem. This is one. Second, or the patient has deficiency of T cells. If low T cells, that patient has T cell abnormality. Or function of T cell, like proliferation is not good. So if you have a T cell problem, I don't know what's the disease. I would like to choose which biological agent other than steroids. Because we are using steroids to shut everything. Macrophage, TNF, all pathways. Other than the steroid, you would like to know which medication you use. So first of all, decide what's your target. Am I targeting T cells? So I did a biopsy from lymph node, it's all T cells. I did for the diagnosis. So this is T cell issue. Let's now talk about T cell medications. So we talk about signaling for T cells. First of all, the antigen-specific cells by MHC class 2 and also the T cell receptor activating. This is the first signal. Then other signal for activation, CD28 and also B7. CD40 ligand. So we have multiple signals for activation. So we can work on each signal to stop the activation of T cells and to kill the T cells. This is just only in the receptors outside. What about inside? So this pathway is the most important, is working about calcineurin pathway. to have NFA2 and production of IL-2. So if the T cells activated, what's the most important for the T cells to proliferate? What's the most important cytokine? IL-2. To produce IL-2, dying, and you have a T lymphocyte, block everything by ATG or Campad or lymphocyte because patient is dying. Patients not dying, but we have a lot of autoimmunity, lymphocyte, then maybe cyclosporin, tacrolimus, maybe DNA synthase, maybe JAK inhibitor, based on which pathway is more affected, and we'll talk about that later on. So this is, we talk about which one of the DNA synthase in this medication. So we talk about MMF and Stilcept is working on the G1. Cyclophosphamide, you'll find it here, you'll find it here, you'll find it here, you'll find it. So cyclophosphamide is more important because working on multiple steps on the DNA synthesis more than the MMF and Imuran. And methotrexate is almost like the same. And if you ask me why methotrexate is used more than Imuran, for example, in rheumatoid arthritis, I think this is all a clinical trial. They start to think to stop the T lymphocyte and see the clinical trials, which medication is working in rheumatoid or others, and then based on the clinical trials, they choose this medication. Then, if you have a lot of auto-inflammatory, you have inflammations and inflammations, just only do cytokines. I know rheumatologists not doing a lot of cytokines assay. Please do it as a habit. If you have somebody with chronic inflammations and inflammations and don't know what you are dealing with, so if this patient is not having any diagnosis, just do cytokine assay. And cytokine assay, you will do it by two methods. One, ELISA, which is the easiest. Just measure the cytokine, produce in the body. Take the serum and the IL-1, beta, and TNF, interferon, type 1 or type 2, and TNF. You can measure it. If this is high, then block it. As simple as that. And this is just only by measuring the cytokines. But it's more better than just only seeing in the serum if you can see intracellular cytokines by flow cytometry. And this is done in the flow lab, and really one of the best measurements for cytokines and better than the ELISA. And we start to establish this in research lab. So we will establish this in research lab to do cytokine by intracellular signaling, which is the best to know which cytokine to work. So just only by, I don't know the diagnosis, but I have inflammations, I have colitis, I have arthritis, no autoimmunity, just measure cytokines intracellular or you don't have extracellular, then they block the pathway affecting the patient. So inter-inflammatory pathway, we have IL-1, TNF-beta. TNF-beta is important, TNF-alpha is important for IL-1, IL-6, and Abdurrahman is smiling. I know you will talk about auto-inflammatory now. So this is IL-1, TNF, IL-6, all important for inflammasome, inflammations, going to the hypothalamus, going for fevers, so leading to inflammations. So which medication I'm using? If you have IL-1 high, so I need to block IL-1. Either to block the receptor or just only attach to the IL-1. Who is blocking the receptor? Anakinra. Who is attaching to IL-1? Canakinumab. So what's the best? Is it anakinra or? So really, you need to see the clinical trials, but if you block the receptor first, I think this is better, but IL-1 also working in other pathway. So really we don't know, but maybe anakinra is better because you are blocking the receptors, you are saturating the receptors, but canakinumab, you are just attached to the IL-1 and preventing IL-1 from going to the receptor. But maybe the IL-1 is so high and still you are not blocking all the IL-1 in canakinumab. And this is why some people prefer anakinra, because you know you are saturating all the receptors by the anakinra. If you have a high IL-6, what you will get? So you can give tocilizumab or anti-TNF, because TNF is important for IL-1 and IL-6 production. So tocilizumab is good for blocking the IL-6 pathway. How I can test for IL-6? For example, in periphery. When I will ask him, if IL-6 is high? You say, I don't know. I said, you can't answer in the periphery. How I
IL-6. If the CRP is like 150, that means the IL-6 is sky high. And without measuring the IL-6 level, just to block the IL-6, because the CRP is the direct pathway for IL-6. If you have patient with autoimmunity, and he is in the ICU setting, and you know he has a lot of autoantibodies, and he has severe hemolysis, but really he's dying. So I should use plasmapheresis or rituximab, and why? So clinical question. Patient in the ICU, I know he has a lot of antibodies, and he has antibodies leading to all complications. Severe cytopenia, severe hemolysis, I am losing the patient. Should I use rituximab, anti-CD20, or plasmapheresis, and why? Why? So just hold on. Rituximab is what? Anti-CD20. And who's producing the antibodies? Which cells? Which B cells? Plasma cells. Plasma cells doesn't have anti-CD20. So really, what we are blocking by rituximab, we are blocking only the early B cells and mature B cells, while the cells is producing the antibodies. Now the plasma cells we are not inhibiting, because CD20 is rituximab is anti-CD20, and the plasma cell doesn't have CD20. So if I'm thinking about my patient right now, I'm losing him, don't use rituximab, because you are wasting your time. The plasma cell will live for at least 7 days or 2 weeks, producing the antibodies continuous, and you're just inhibiting the immature B cells, because those they have CD20. And if the immature B cells change to plasma cell, they lose CD20. So this is the question. If patient in the ICU sitting, you are not waiting for him, just don't use rituximab. You are wasting your time, maybe for a chronic later on, but now you should use plasmapheresis. So we talk about rituximab, tocilizumab, anakinra. So let's talk about JAK inhibitor. And this is the most important, because I know some of the people, Abdurrahman, you'll talk about JAK today? Okay. So JAK stat is important for most of the cytokines, especially 2 types of cytokine receptor. Type 1 cytokine, type 2 cytokine. But you should know which JAK you would like to inhibit. If you would like to inhibit mainly JAK3 and slightly JAK1 or JAK2, JAK3 is important for allergy, important for IL-6, IL-4 reductions. If your patient has major allergy and slightly interferonopathy, so JAK3 inhibitor is the most important, like what? Tofacitinib. Tofacitinib is JAK3 inhibitor. Major JAK3 inhibitor, slightly JAK1, JAK2. So if your patient have type 1 interferonopathy, don't waste your time with tofacitinib. Because tofa is a JAK3 major and JAK1, JAK2 minor. But if I have somebody with serious issues and also severe vasculitis, and I don't know he has high type 1 interferon like alpha or beta, or type 2, I would like to use JAK1, JAK2 inhibitor more than JAK3. So ruxolitinib is the best. So Roxo is the most important for JAK1, JAK2, while Tofa is the most important for JAK3. And this is now all the JAK. You can see if JAK1 is good for interferon, good for all the gamma chain cytokines. JAK3 is the most important for gamma chain cytokines, which IL-4, IL-6 is important for allergy. So if you think about rheumatoid arthritis, which medication I will use? So rheumatoid arthritis, they have major antigen-presenting cells issues, producing a lot of cytokines. So maybe later on you will find a high cytokine pathway in the chronic patient, so you should block those cytokines, anti-TNF, IL-1, so maybe last 2 slides. IL-1 or IL-6. Also initially they have a lot of major T cells and also immune complex, so T cells issue like abatacept, or methotrexate, or the medication we talk about initially is good for rheumatoid arthritis. Let's talk about HLH. We have an HLH patient, and this is like mild patient. So what's the pathway of HLH and how we can use now monoclonal to block the pathway for HLH? So the HLH, we have activation, we have stimuli, either mutation in peripherin or others. Then you have CD8 is producing a lot of interferon gamma, and this interferon gamma making the macrophage more crazy to produce a lot of cytokines. So the cytokines also will go back to here. So I should block this pathway. So if I have mass and the patient is not toxic, so maybe you can recover the patient here, just use steroids and maybe anti-IL-1 because produced here. This is maybe it's enough for your patient. If patient is not sick. But really, if the patient is more sick, you don't want to waste your time here, so you should stop all the pathway by autoposide and also steroid. So steroid is a strong inhibition to CD8 and mass and also macrophage. Autoposide compat ATG is depleting all T lymphocytes. This is excellent. And macrophage and anti-cytokines, it's good as add-on medications, or maybe the patient is mild. Is not like severe enough leading to death. So you should see your patient. If patient is comatose, intubated, and you're dying, use everything. Use etoposide, use DXA, use anti-IL-1, use IL-6, maybe using also JAK inhibitor is working. Anti-interferon gamma is working because the JAK inhibitor also should work on mass. So this is for allergy. I will not waste my time. So this is now an exam for you. Rheumatology follow-up, pediatric, adults. Who is this medication? No, here.
Rehan, 1 minute.
خلاص. 2 slides. What's the medication here? This is infliximab, and this is Humana. What's the difference between? So this is fully humanized. Fully humanized. That means I am injecting now the protein inside the mice, and then I'm giving antibody. Some of the antibodies, they have some part from the mouse. Then I'm removing these to put like fully humanized. Fully humanized, you don't have a side effect a lot, and you don't have a lot of neutralizing antibody. So with infliximab, you will see neutralizing antibody because you have still mouse parts, and you will have also reactions more. And this cells is Iteracect because you have the fusion protein, and with this pathway is blocking by what? So I'm looking at IL-2, so anti-IL-2. This is blocking by what? Which medication? So ATG, Campat, all this is blocking this pathway. This one is what? Looking at B7, CD28, beta-sect. This one, cusinurine, tacro, and also cyclosporin. And this one, proliferation and DNA synthase. So this is Muran Silsert. This one, working the mTOR, the rapamycin or sirolimus. And thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Jazakallah.
An excellent presentation. Now we have 2 minutes for a question.
أنا رايح على طول. No questions. So first of all, the role in immunoglobulin for all, either immune replacement, like for immune deficiency, or replacing the immune system with immunoglobulin, or immune modulations. You have a good immunoglobulin and you're giving this immunoglobulin for immune modulation. How we can immune modulate? It's just neutralizing the antibodies. So attaching by Fc receptor to the receptor, and so the autoantibody is not working. So I'm giving out tons of IVIG to saturate all the receptors, so the autoantibodies is not working anymore. So neutralization is the most important for IVIG.
Thank you for excellent presentation. I'm asking similarity with hygiene hypothesis. when T helper 1 is sleeping and T helper 2 is activated. What is the impact of the infections in the hematological disease mediated by antibody production? Should in future we give infection in this fashion to suppress the autoimmunity?
Yeah, this is a good question. So initially, what's the hygiene theory? That's mean if you have a lot of infections, low socioeconomic status, you have a lot of infections, you are driving the immune system to T helper 1, but you didn't have a lot of T helper 2, you didn't have a lot of IL-4, IL-6, so less allergy, less autoimmunity. And this is like called the hygiene theory. And all the people now talking the self-tolerance, or you call the tolerance about the hygiene theory and commensal flora. We are working nowadays on commensal flora. Flora just only to activate the T helper 1 cytokines and avoiding the T helper 17, T helper 2 cytokines.
Thank you. Now we'll move to the next speaker.